So driving for DoorDash, you may have one delivery, you may have 100 deliveries or 1,000, or like Jonas here, you might have over 11,000 deliveries. And he joins me in this video on a brand new driver contributor program, talking to us about his experience as a DoorDash Dasher. Jonas, thanks for being here. I appreciate you being actually our first guest on our new contributor series. So tell us a little bit about your dashing experience, how long you've been dashing, what marketplace you're dashing in, and how many dashing deliveries you've done.
Well, thanks, Mike, for having me, of course. I've been doing DoorDash for longer than I'd say most drivers have been doing. And I've seen it, go through many kinds of changes throughout the years. So what it has taught me is this is really evolving. And, of course, we're talking about 2018, so I mean 2019. And yeah, I've been doing this for since then. And I remember back then we had to wait for the customer, ring the doorbell or knock or whatsoever. It was very rare to get orders where we just leave at the door, which pretty much is the standard, since the pandemic about 5 years ago, and such. So, I mean, and then also just changes in, programs, rewards, and just how the app kind of just does its thing. But I've also seen the changes too with drivers. Some drivers are just sticking to some of the stuff they've been doing for as long as you have been doing, as long as I've been doing, as you know. And there's some drivers that are just like, you know what, I'm going to change it, I'm going to go with the flow with DoorDash. When DoorDash does these different things, I'm going to do it with them. And for me, I feel like as if what really helps me is to just, just change and just adapt, at this right along the same lines or wavelength as DoorDash is trying to do, basically to kind of make sure you kind of feel motivated, but also so the changes don't really get to you. You see what I'm saying?
I do. And again, I appreciate you being here, folks. So drop a like on this video if you appreciate Jonas joining today. Now, Jonas has done over 11,000 deliveries. And what marketplace are you in, Jonas?
Oh, I forgot to ask, Mike. So I am in the great market of Salt Lake City around here. So
All right.
I know I don't sound like it. I'm I don't have the accent for it, but of course, I'm originally from Houston, Texas. But yeah, I've been living here 7 years or so. I've lived in other places, but yeah,
Cool.
This is my market. I'm a little bit weird than a lot of other drivers. I don't know if I mentioned this, Mike. I don't stick to like one or two towns like most drivers do. Nothing against people who do. If that works for you, wonderful. I go to different towns. Basically, I go where the money takes me, where the good orders take me, and such. I like going to different areas instead of sticking to one area, just because it gets boring doing one area. But then also, I feel like for me, I gotta go where the money is. But then also, like, if you don't like a restaurant, or as like a lot of drivers that you hear complain about restaurants, how they don't like this, they don't like that. It's an easy way to avoid it. It's not like avoiding that restaurant, if you're not, especially if you're doing these different areas, it's easy. But if you go to the same area, eventually, after some point, you may not have much options. Something to consider, guys.
Certainly. I want to go back to your point about driving in different, sub marketplaces, folks. So, on DoorDash, it breaks down your entire market into smaller sub marketplaces. So, two questions for you, Jonas. Number one, because you've done DoorDash basically as long as I have. You said since mid 2018, basically same here. I started 2018. So, number one, what is the best way, because you've seen the changes as well, to make money on DoorDash in 2025? Is it earn per offer, earn by time, etc.? And then number two, talk to us a little bit about those different sub marketplaces you drive in. How often do you do it? And then how far away, let's say from home, would you drive to one of those sub marketplaces?
Well, that's another good question. So to answer first, what is the best way to make it in 2025? For me, I've always really done, for the most part, 98 or 99% of the time, I've stick with the earn by offer program. I like to multi-app and such. And basically, I like to do earn by offer, because with the earn by time, also, I've had times where I go to the restaurant and then when they're closed, I don't make anything. And then maybe I've heard, and in rare cases, never happened to me, but I would hear of people who are like earn by time, they would get notices or threats of deactivation for taking too long or whatever, especially if they're going off route for whatever reason. Even if it's like construction or traffic, which I know in a lot of places it can vary from place to place.
I'm the same way. You mentioned primarily earn per offer. Let us know, folks, down below in the comments. If you like earn by time, if it is working for you, let us know. There's nothing wrong with that. And by the way, if you want to join like Jonas here and share your thoughts, definitely check out our contributor program. We'll have it linked down below. So about those different sub marketplaces, how often do you drive away from like your home sub marketplace? And how far away is that? I'm curious about how many minutes away you might drive.
I'm in a situation where I kind of go different, where I can, like I don't have to be in like one particular area, or so. Like basically, so that's not really an issue for me. But a lot of times I kind of like in the same area, and it's just that like if I'm in an area far away from where I want to go back, I will even take orders that probably are not the most ideal, just because I know that, hey, I will have to go back there, so might as well. For me, I stick with $1 per mile on all orders, with one major exception, and that is if the order is taking me back to where I want to be for that, taking me back home where I want to be later that night, whatever you want to call it.
Let me ask you this, because I know, if I may, I know the first question I'm going to get asked is, why does he take $1 a mile? Now, also, we can bridge this into platinum status, because you've done, I think it was like 160 some deliveries in the last 30 days. You had a 70 some percent, I think no, actually 80 some percent acceptance rate. So you're at platinum as well. So talk to me about both of these things. Why $1 a mile? I understand that's your minimum. Obviously, we want more pay the better. So talk to me about that, a little bit more on the dollars to mile of what you accept, and then how it might relate to platinum status and Dasher rewards. Are you seeing a good amount of high paying offers, let's say, on Dasher rewards?
I'm on platinum status. I've been doing that. I've been on there since September of last year, so about 6 months. And what really motivated me to try that is because of scheduling. Because I believe since August of last year, like close to that time, DoorDash then started to include, at least in my market, acceptance rate when it comes to getting on the schedule 6 days ahead. Because before, you'd be completion rate and customer rating, but they factored acceptance rate. So in my market, you would have to, if you're below 60% acceptance rating, you wouldn't be able to schedule till later midnight that night, 6 days prior, to get on the schedule. And by then, usually the schedule's booked. And then if you're silver, which is above 60% to 80%, you can get on the schedule at 3 p.m. when it comes out, but it might be getting booked, but a few minutes later. So you have to probably, at least in my market around here in northern Utah, you have to, right when it hits 3 o'clock, just get on DoorDash app if you can, or so. If you have a different job, probably going to be not ideal. Of course, you have to wait till you get out, but this is mainly geared toward the full timers. So that's what motivated me to do that, is to get on the schedule, or be like Dash anytime. So I don't have to worry about, being stuck to one region, because, at least for me, because I like to do different regions, especially if I get an order taking me one region to another, then it's ideal to have the Dash anytime than just get on the schedule. Because when you get on the schedule, you're committing yourself.
Are you getting the out of zone bonus? Because you are doing different sub marketplaces. Is DoorDash on the offer card? Now they're showing like, okay, hey, it's going into a new zone. It highlights that other zone, and then it'll tell you generally if there's peak pay and if it's busy. But also, I haven't seen this in a lot of marketplaces. They might add an extra $1 because you're going into a different zone. Are you getting that?
Actually, I haven't. Yeah, I've seen some of that, but it's not in my market. But I think
Gotcha.
It's just a matter of timing,
In the last, let's say, 3 years, I don't know if it's exclusively to DoorDash, but what have you liked that's coming down the pipeline recently?
Well, I know lately in the past few months, they've had verification, of course, just to try to identify the drivers, because I know there's drivers in many markets, and I've kind of seen it in mine, who might be renting accounts to drivers who are not eligible. For some people, it may seem harmless, but I also think, well, I want the customers to feel safe and know who coming to their door, because you don't want unauthorized people coming to your property or so, because you don't know if these people, what their background check is or something like that. And I know that's kind of been a complaint. But then with the referral bonuses, now I don't see them as much as I used to, but I think what I've seen referral bonuses, they've also been pretty high in my market, and to try to refer people. I guess it's like they're trying to get more drivers or saturate the market.
Well, I know that DoorDash recently improved the referral process. I think it was at maybe the end of 2023 or maybe mid 24. I can't remember, but they revamped that. There's everyone always argues about saturation. You got to remember, this is also a gig with high turnover. A lot of people, it doesn't feel like it, especially if you're watching videos like this, but a lot of people, they just do it for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and there's nothing wrong with that. So yes, these companies continually need more drivers here. What other apps though? Because you have this great experience with DoorDash. Who is number two? Or is there someone better than DoorDash? Like, do you multi-app with anyone else, or are you kind of all in more on DoorDash?
Good question. I'm glad you brought it up. So I did mention I did 3 apps. So DoorDash, of course, which I brought because I know that's the big emphasis right there, and that's the most popular one in most markets around America, and at least here in my market here. And I know every market's different. Some places, for some of you guys, it might be Uber Eats, it might be Grubhub. I'd be surprised if it's Grubhub because you don't really hear about it much. But Uber Eats is my second most delivered app on these days. And it also kind of varies on the season because I'll go 6 months, most of my orders DoorDash, and then Uber Eats, then another 6 months later, then most of my orders Uber Eats, and then DoorDash is the second, of course, moneymaker for me out of the, if you rank the 3,
But for the casual dasher, they're dashing, a couple hours here and there, let's say. What's working right now, maybe what to avoid, and what kind of best practices would you tell them? Like, what's the platform like? What would you tell someone that's just considering signing up right now?
Probably just try it. Like, if you not try it full time unless you're really, really comfortable. Like maybe you or me, Mike. I just recommend, and most drivers do this part time. Basically, the good majority. And so try it part time and try to learn about their market, and probably not get bummed out the first day or two if it's not good. Because I know for a lot of us, when we try something new, it doesn't sound. A lot of us get demotivated. We get we put ourselves down and such, and we just give up too easily. Some of us, and it can be hard, especially if we have another full-time job or so, because we don't want to be working all day every day or so. So I kind of get it. Just try it out, but then definitely watch Mike's videos, and watch.
Appreciate that, and that's unprompted. I didn't tell him to say that, folks, but I appreciate that. Jonas is exactly right here. It's going to vary by market. You might know that, but it's going to vary based on time. 5 years ago, 2 years ago, new features, the app that you gave up on 5 years ago, it might be a completely different app now. Like literally, now there's Earn by Time. Now there's other options, and obviously we don't just talk about DoorDash here. There's a lot of other gigs and options in this side hustle economy. So consider subscribing. But I do want to greatly thank Jonas for actually being our first driver team contributor. So folks, if you want to contribute and share your gig insights, check out that link down below. Jonas, anything else you would like to tell our wonderful audience here? And I want to thank you for being a viewer and joining our contributor program here as well. But anything for our great team members here?
We all struggle, yes, on these apps at times. We also got, at the end of the day, guys, we all got different skills as well. And, of course, this is, definitely, this chance you could apply some of the skills you have and use that to help you, make money and such. But also the thing is, just, find what works for you. Find what works for you. And basically, if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, there's other avenues to explore.
I want you to find an app, a gig, a niche, a side hustle. And it might not even be an app. It might be starting your own business. It might be taking that leap. It might be trying to monetize across social media. Whatever it is, I want you to find a good side hustle. Maybe you turn it into a full-time hustle, right? And to hit whatever number or marker for success that you want to hit. So again, shout outs to Jonas. Appreciate you watching as a team member. Consider subscribing. Again, all I do is help you make money in different side hustles, and I'll see you soon.